Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to the videos to the paid request this time for Bronson. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the 1997 film Gone Fishin'. Now, it's directed by Christopher Cain, although I don't know if this is true. It's the internet, so just because you read it doesn't mean it's true. But I read that apparently, like, John Alvidson, I'm like, the director of The Karate Kid? Someone directed this movie, and then, like, 1 or 2 weeks in, they got fired, and then they got Christopher Kanan, who did Young Guns, among other movies. And that, the movie did cost quite a bit of money and was a complete, utter bomb. Sadly, a stunt person died during it. I guess apparently Danny Glover has admitted he only did this for the money. So a lot of dire circumstances for what is really a very silly, goofy comedy that, to be honest, I always enjoyed. I still like the film, watch it again. It doesn't get a lot of high praise at all. It's a very low rating on IMDb. And maybe it's the fact that I just really like Joe Pesci and Danny Glover a lot. I mean, I got Danny Glover, well, if there's a poster, you can't see it, but behind it is a Danny Glover figure someone sent me from his film Predator 2 as his character Mike Harrigan. Joe Pesci, whether it be The Super, whether it be The Goodfellas, whether it be Home Alone. And of course, they worked together in the Lethal Weapon films. I thought they were fun in the movie. It was pretty much these guys who are much older. They're friends, the best of friends. They're buffoons. They screw up a lot. And like little kids in a candy store. Only for them to be a fishing store. And that's really it is. Like, how much do you get out of Danny Glover and Joe Pesci acting like kids who are lighthearted and filled with joy and glee and the end of all these misadventures because they win a contest, they go to the Everglades, and they're on the journey there, and on the journey all these misadventures and happenstance happens. Whether it be their car gets stolen, and then they have to push their boat. The boat goes crazy, it gets stuck on a railroad track. They get it out of the way, but it gets dragged by the train. They get picked up by people. They realize that the person who stole their car is the guy that stole money from all these women, and he also may be a killer as well. Actually, I think that happens before the train, because one of the women is Rosanna Arquette. And then the train stuff happens, and they find their car again. They try to confront the guy, but the guy has a gun, so they leave. But the gas station starts on fire. They realize they might get a reward, so they try to celebrate at this fancy place. But then Danny Glover's character sleepwalks at night, so he accidentally starts a fire in the hotel. Like, again, constant state of piled on shit just ruins these guys' vacation. I guess originally the idea was it was going to be John Candy and Rick Moranis starring in the film, but John Candy passed away. Rick Moranis, he decided to retire. And in a way, it's trying to be maybe like The Great Outdoors, like those type of comedies back in the day. I mean, just very silly, very goofy, very cartoonish, not beholden to the real world of physics or stuff at all. But I really like the two leads, and I like their interplay with each other. I like the way I really bought them as friends, which made sense because by this point they had done Lethal Weapon 1, 2, and 3. And I think a year later, in '98, they beat Lethal Weapon 4, so they had done at least 3 movies together by this point. And they're just very funny and they're very playful with each other. I like the way Joe Pesci talks in it. Like when they're tied up by the bad guy. He's like, "You think you're tough, huh? Huh? Yeah, you think you're a big tough guy, huh? Join the army if you want to fight. No, gosh, maybe push my car in the river in the lake. Be a tough guy." And he tries to spit, but he accidentally fucking spits on himself. That's definitely one of the most. I mean, like I said, it depends how you feel about those two guys and their performance, their playful interactions. Because if you don't like it, you're not going to like the movie at all. If you like being, you do. It becomes a fun time with some pretty good stunt work. Like there's a lot of good stunt work in this for this type of comedy. I'm sure that's where the budget came in from. Just whether it be when their car gets stolen, and when the guy drives off their boat, careens and crashes into this diner, all done practical. Earlier on, when Danny Glover's leaving for work, he has this big like cargo hold in the sky, and he, without realizing it, he hits the lever. It falls and crushes this thing. And you see like real people around it, so it's all done for real, not models. All done for real. Or like I said, the boat's going down the road and they're trying to maneuver it, and there's a train coming by, and there's a real stuntman getting the boat right out of the way of the train, and you see that a real boat is carried by the fucking train. The There's a chase scene at the end with one of those airboats, and it's on the water, but then it goes on the land, and at times you see it's really Danny Glover and Joe Pesci driving this thing on the road, trying to maneuver around these cars and try to get back in the water. There's a bit where they're looking at this new boat because they think they don't get this reward money, and they're test driving this boat, but things go wrong, and it's going all over the place, and even goes on land. And there's this wide shot where all these other boats kind of fall to the ground. Sadly, I think that was the scene where one of the people died. Because the way they described it was that a boat was supposed to fall, but it fell like the wrong way. I think that was the scene. I mean, I don't know if they had to reshoot it. I would assume so. But I mean, no one should ever die on a movie. But sadly, it does happen. It's a big shame. And like I said, you're watching this film. It's not going to be for the plot. It's not going to be for the originality. It's going to be for the two leads and how you feel about them. And like I said, those two I thought worked really well with each other. I thought they were really funny, like them trying to watch Jeopardy, not understanding the questions, so they changed it. It's a stupid show. Yeah, stupid show. They're big fans of this fisherman guy, played by Willie Nelson, who does show up at the end of the film to help him out. So always nice to see Willie Nelson in there. Some other funny moments. There's a bit where they're in this rich place, and like this restaurant, they give him like a little bit of a glass, and Joe Pesci's like, "You know, I'm a big guy. I can drink a full glass." Or they try to find this money that this bad guy had hidden, and there's an alligator there. So for the most part, pretty decent looking practical effect. And like Danny Glover gives it, "Let me kick you in the nuts." He doesn't have any nuts, Joe. Because yeah, Joe Pesci's character is called Joe. He has no Joe. But then he tits, fucking Joe Pesci tits the fucking alligator. What you would assume would be the crotch. What was it? There's the bit with, after they're tied up and the bad guy leaves and they think someone else is coming. It's like, you remember that movie Deliverance? And Danny Glover's like, I don't want to squeal like a pig, Joe. Like I said, those two were a lot of fun to watch. That, it being only 90 minutes long, not over bloated, yeah, some pretty good stunt work. In a way, it's kind of like watching an extended Three Stooges short. This kind of reminded me with some of the comedy was a Three Stooges type of mentality to it, like cartoonish, very physical, very silly. There's lightning and Joe Pesci's scared because he's been hit by lightning before. And Dave's like, "Hey, it's okay. See, it's okay." And Joe Pesci, "Okay," and then he gets hit. So it would depend on how much you enjoy seeing these two as entertaining, in my opinion, fun buffoons. And to me, they made the film easily watchable for me. And there's no raunchy stuff. There's no fart jokes or piss jokes. Nothing of that type of comedy. I didn't notice any weird product placement. It's the tone's consistent, and it's not like it goes into this weird dark tone. And where the fuck did that tone come? It doesn't go into that type of business. It's pretty consistent. The guy who plays the villain, he's there. He's like, yeah, kind of in one ear out the other. Part of me wishes it was played by a different actor, or maybe a more recognizable actor, maybe a more familiar face. But he was there, just typical. It's not that he was bad, just typical. Rosanna Arquette and her friend, they were fine. Pretty much they pop up from time to time because they're trying to find this guy as well. Because the guy took money from Rosanna Arquette's mom, and her friend is along for the ride. And they pop up every once in a while. I do like the bit where when they picked up Pesci and Danny Glover. They're like, these are babes. Yeah, they're babes. Give them the killer looks. Killer looks? What do you mean killer looks? Oh, Joe, your memory's so bad. Remember in school, the killer looks? And so when the women start talking to them again, they both turn. They're like, hey, yeah, how's it going? Like their eyes are more squinty, and they try to be so cool. Or even like little bits of banter. Oh, those ugly sticks. And Pesci mishears it. Gus, what are you doing? Like, you can't call them ugly chicks. What? No, ugly sticks. Like the fishing thing. Oh, I thought you were calling those girls ugly chicks. It looked like, I mean, maybe Danny Glover, okay, he did this for the money. It looked like they were having fun. It did. It really did look like these two guys were having a lot of fun with the role. Or they were having fun, getting to work together, a much more goofy, silly venture. Danny Glover rarely gets to do that type of comedy. I mean, what the comedies I think of was a Pure Luck with Martin Short, but he's a bit more the serious guy. Very rarely he gets to be silly. Same with Joe Pesci. I think maybe Home Alone films. But here he's like a big kid. They're two big kids, and it was fun to watch them that way. Being that I really enjoy these two actors. So it was infectious. It seemed like they were having fun, and that was infectious and allowed me to have fun. I think that's just my opinion. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.